الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعمه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون الذي لا يدركه بعد الحمم ولا يناله غوص الفتن الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا وقت معدود ولا أجل ممدود والصلاة والسلام على رسول الثقلين محبوب رب المغربين والمشرقين جد الحسن والحسين أبي القاسم محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الإمام زين العابدين عليه السلام لا حسب لقريشي ولا عربي إلا بالتواضع ولا كرم إلا بالتقوى أما بعد أوصيكم ونفسي عباد الله بتقوى الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Respected Mu'mineen, first of all, I advise myself and you Mu'mineen for taqwa. This is the one of the beautiful hadiths of our fourth Imam, Hazrat Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wassalam. In this hadith, Imam has mentioned the importance of taqwa, importance of God wariness and the piety of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Sajjad says, لا حسب لقريشي ولا عربي إلا بالتواضع ولا كرم إلا بالتقوى. There is no nobility for the Quraysh nor for the Arab other than through humbleness, tawazu, and no dignity other than through taqwa. Yani the criteria is tawazu and humbleness, and the criteria for dignity is taqwa. As Quran says, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. If a person has a taqwa, fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he has a good and high rank in the view of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Having wealth, because nothing is more immortal in this world. Everything go away. Only our taqwa, our deeds will remain till the day of Qiyamah, and we have to give answer regarding our deeds in Akhirah. So Imam has says, Wala karama illa bit taqwa. There is no dignity other than taqwa. But what does it mean? What does taqwa mean? So many definitions have been mentioned for taqwa. Even last week I mentioned some of the hadiths from Nahjul Balagha and from other books. Today there is one of the famous call of our sixth Imam, Hazrat Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. But the meaning of taqwa is to stay away from the forbidden things and embrace what is obligatory and desirable. This is the meaning and definition of taqwa. But our sixth Imam says taqwa means is to present in a place God has ordered. God has given the hukm, the hukm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We must follow. So taqwa is to present in a place God has ordered, and to be absent from a place He has prohibited. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He has given the permission to be a place like Masjid, Imam Barga, good places, and the mubah places, person can go, people can go. But the other places like prohibited by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that time if we are going there, it means we don't have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Imam says to be present in a place which is jaiz in Islam. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. But this is a month of Safar, and according to the rawayat, as I mentioned last night in my majlis, that according to rawayat, 7th of Safar is the martyrdom and shahadat of our second Imam, Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam. So let me mention one of his beautiful hadiths, our second Imam. Qala Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam, he says, Usikum bi taqwallah. This hadith I mentioned last night in my majlis. Usikum bi taqwallah wa idamatu tafakkur. Very nice hadith. فَإِنَّ التَّفَكُّرَ أَبُو كُلِّ خَيْرٍ وَأُمِّهِ. I advise you with piety, with taqwa and continuous thinking. Idamatu tafakkur, not thinking one time, not thinking momentary, not thinking one time. No, idamatu tafakkur, continuous thinking, because thinking is the father and mother of all goods. Allahu Akbar. فَإِنَّ التَّفَكُّرَ أَبُو كُلِّ خَيْرٍ وَأُمِّهِ. Because the thinking is the father and mother of all thinking. So nice hadith. See, if you want to perceive the change in this world, all change, all progress, all growth and development, and whatever you say, everything is belong to thinking. Every development in this world, progress, technology, computer, whatever you see, is a start from the thinking. It start from thinking. Just see Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison, first he had a thinking in his mind. Where to start? How can you put the light? How can give the light to this world? So he experienced so many, more than 1,000 people say. It is mentioned, more than 1,000. Then he invented electric bulb, Thomas Edison. And like Alexander Graham Bell, first he had a think and fikr in his mind. First he thought, how can I this thing convey this message to the people those are far from here? Because I am talking to you, you are sitting in front of me, you can listen my voice. But a person who is far from me, who is sitting, who is living 2 kilometer, 1,000 kilometer, 50 kilometer. So first he thought what I can do, Graham Bell. Then he invented telephone. So because every invention has a thinking first. And like other so many things, Wright brothers, I gave an example of Wright brothers. First they thought the birds are flying, the eagle are flying, pigeon are flying, how can we fly? First he had a tafakkur and fikr in his mind, then he started thinking how I can make it possible. I said in my majlis that when a person thinks it is not possible, then he shuts all door upon him and he sit in a corner, because already his mind has accepted that this thing is not possible. But when a person say, okay, this thing is mushkil, this thing is hard, but it is possible. When Wright brother thought, okay, flying like the eagle, flying like the pigeon and other birds, it's a very hard thing, but it's not a possible. So he started thinking, idamatu tafakkur, continuous thinking. See, Imam says, usikum bi taqwallah wa idamatu tafakkur, because tafakkur is a father and mother of all good things. So I gave the example of Wright brother. He started thinking. Now you can see we can fly anywhere, any corner of the world we can fly. And I gave the example of Imam Khomeini rahmatullah alayh. Just like me and you, he was sitting in the room. Then he started talking with his friend that we can bring the Islamic revolution. When he discussed with his friend, then he started working on this thing, on his thinking. Then now you can see Islamic Republic of Iran, you can see. So every good thing start from the thinking. And Quran even has so many examples. Quran says, كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمُ الْآيَاتِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ. Like this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained, yubayyin, explain, lakumul ayat, his signs, For what? Just to read and go away. Just to read and close the book. Just to read and ask sawab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask jannat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask the reward. Okay, reward will be given. Jannat will be given. You will given the sawab, you will be granted the sawab of recitation of Holy Quran. But the Quran is not for the sawab, for the deceased, for the marhumin. No. Okay, we can give sawab to them. But Quran says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Maybe you can consider. So the ayat of Quran, the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the qissa of Quran, the stories of Quran, not for only the reading and just give sawab to the marhumin. One of the aspect to give sawab is okay, but not only this target and goal. The target of Quran, the target of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, la'allakum tatafakkarun. We must consider upon the ayat of Quran. We must ponder upon the ayat of Quran. And again Quran says, Afala yatadabbarun al-Quran. What happened to you? Why you don't ponder in Quran? Afala yatadabbarun al-Quran. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. In Quran, we have three words. Listen to me carefully. This my whole majlis, last night majlis. In Quran, we have three words: tafakkur, tadabbur, and tazakkur. Tatafakkarun, tazakkarun, afala yatadabbarun, tadabbur. English even we have different word. Tafakkur yani thinking, tadabbur yani ponder, and tazakkur just to make remind someone. So Quran has mentioned these three things, but in the view of Quran, all these three words, all these three things have a difference between. Tafakkur means, in tafakkur, our heart concentrate on proof. When we have tafakkur and we have thinking, we give the example to the little children when they come to madrasa. Okay, on the sand, if you, Durban people, they can understand. If you go just to the ocean side, on beach, on the sand there is the sign of footstep. On the footstep, that a little child can understand someone has passed from here. He didn't see the person who passed. Only by the perceiving the sign of footstep, he can understand someone has passed from here. So then he start thinking. If the sign of footstep is small, he can guess a small child passed from here. If the sign of footstep is big, then he can understand the big person. Or like you can make another example, the footstep of camel, footstep of horse. And he didn't see anything, neither horse, no camel, no man, but only by seeing the footstep. So Quran says the same thing. Tafakkur means heart concentrate on the proof. If a person has a proof, small proof, that time he can understand the creator. Who has created. When we see this whole universe, systematic universe, that time we can understand the highness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is omnipotent, He is omniscient, He is Qadir Mutlaq, He is all-knowing, He is Alim. Then we can know the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He is all-powerful. This is the meaning of tafakkur. How concentrate on proof. Tazakkur means how concentrate and focus on outcomes. This is tadabbur. Tadabbur means to think regarding the result. And same thing, Ayatullah Bahjat, he used to say, it's very easy to control on ourselves. Whenever you want to take any step, just before taking any step, that you should think for a moment that by this step, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my creator, my khaliq, will be happy or no. If Allah is happy with your step, this step you're going to take, then do it, perform it. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is our creator, who is our khaliq, he is not happy with you, then this is not correct. So tadabbur means just to think about regarding the result. Before taking any step in our daily life, even we can apply this thing. That time we don't have to get any loss or this thing. And third is tazakkur. Tazakkur means tatazakkarun. Quran says it's a duty of one moment for other moment. Give them tazakkur because the waswasa of shaitan, because the waswas of shaitan, sometimes we forget something. So it's a duty of every moment to have amr bil ma'ruf and nahi al munkar. So tazakkur means just to give the amr bil ma'ruf, remind the people. So we know this thing we know from before, but in tazakkur we remind. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Then all these three things, tafakkur and tadabbur and tazakkur, is related to our aql. Is related to our aql. And aql means, as you know, aql has taken from the iqal. Iqal is called the chain of camel. The chain which is put in the legs of camel, it is called iqal. So that time camel can't run away, can't go away. So by the aql, person can stop himself, can stop and control himself by doing bad things, by doing the things which are prohibited by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a work of our aql. So that's why our aql is called aql, because it has been taken from the iqal. And in Nahjul Balagha and other books, you can see Imam says, La ilma kat tafakkur. Allahu Akbar. Very nice. In Nahjul Balagha, Imam says, La ilma kat tafakkur. Because this tafakkur, tadabbur, tazakkur, Quran says, all related to our aql. And Imam says, La ilma kat tafakkur. There is no knowledge like thinking. No knowledge. Because in every knowledge you have to think. Just to mug up and give the exam, that time result won't be good. Person must understand. So Imam said, La ilma kat tafakkur. There is no knowledge like thinking. Then Imam says, Al fikru mir'atu safiya. Very nice hadith. In Nahjul Balagha, Imam says, Al fikru mir'atu safiya. There is, thinking is a transparent mirror. Allahu Akbar. Thinking is a transparent mirror. If our mirror is dirty, that time you are not able to see your picture. Your picture won't be clear in your mirror if the mirror has a dust or something wrong in it. So Imam says, Al-fikru miratu safiya, the thinking is a transparent mirror. If the mirror is good, so you can see how you are. Mirror will show your nose as it is. Mirror will show your eyebrow, your eyelash, and whatever your ear or your cheek or whatever your lips as you are. But if the mirror has a fault and if the mirror has a dust, that time you are not able to see your picture properly. That time your picture will be like a cartoon. So Imam said, if your fikr is correct, and the good fikr, good thinking is like a mirror. Allahu Akbar. Al-fikru mir'atu safiya. And the last hadith, according to my paper, Imam says, Al-fikru, Imam says, Al-tafakkuru sa'atin khairun min ibadati sana. Allahu Akbar. Thinking an hour is better than the worshipping for a year. Thinking an hour, only 1 hour, a person is sitting only thinking. So it's better than a ibadat of 1 year. Even our Rawais says 7 years. Some Rawais says hafta sal, 70 years. Some Rawais says. Inshallah, next week I will mention. So, in fikr is very important and the tafakkur is very important. So, before performing any ibadat, you must know in which court we are standing, where we are going. Our creator is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He is omniscient, He is omnipotent, He is Qadir Mutlaq. When we think like this, that time our ibadat will get the more and more reward with the barakat of salawat bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammadin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa